I gotta say, it's a little weird that we did not get one Rocky like a hurricane. Just one. Just one.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
One.
Just repeat to yourself, hey, it's just a show. I should really just relax. For Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Welcome unto Journey into Mystery, where today
Vocal flange.
we're talking about one of the lesser kaiju, the Black Scorpion.
Very lesser.
Yeah, well, I do have an argument to make along these lines as we go through. Yeah, we've got a thesis today, boy.
Oh, boy.
It's what happens when you make me watch the version that doesn't have the misting.
Well, that's what I presume people are here for. Our bullshit.
Yes, indeed.
We get on our bullshit, and they're here to listen to it.
Okay. So, Black Scorpion, huh?
Yeah, I don't know that this movie is really quite bad enough for Mystery Science, to be honest.
And I'll tell you why. This movie is exactly a kaiju movie. It's the same formula, it has the same pacing, and that's not a good thing. Because it's a 1950s kaiju film, which means that most of the movie is spent following some extremely bland, relatively helpful sciencey type people, and the movie keeps trying to make you care about what's going on in their lives when there's giant monsters to get to.
Yeah.
The only difference is that here it's badly dubbed from Spanish instead of badly dubbed from Japanese.
Oh, no, it's not dubbed from Spanish.
Oh, it's not.
No, this is all English.
Some of the people in this were dubbed.
Nope.
Okay, well, there was just really bad ADR in places. But, yeah, but this is by way of Mexico as opposed to by way of Japan. And the method of bringing the monster to life is with stop motion here as opposed to a suit. But...
Well, it's more by way of America's view of Mexico, because this is an incredibly white movie.
Yeah.
Very infantilizing towards the people of Mexico.
Very baffling in all general cases. And, where do you want to start clawing into this monster? Because much like having a giant scorpion on your plate and the little lobster crackers, it's hard to figure out where you want to attack the beast from. I mean, I know I want it dipped in the drawn butter, but...
Yeah, I do want to note that before we get into it, and I was just kind of skimming stuff while watching it, the Wikipedia page, the section for Mystery Science Theater 3000 is larger than the section for production. I think that says something both about the movie and Wikipedia.
Yeah, I think that's one of those very telling things. That's anthropologically interesting, right there. Yeah, that's. I'm sure there's some uncomfortable truth about humanity that's lurking in that corner.
Yeah, I do. Like I said, I kind of just the movie in general. It's not a terrible movie. It's cheesy. It's got, like I said, it's got that weird, infantilizing whiteness to it. But Warner Brothers put some money into it.
Yeah, it has the pacing problems of a kaiju film, most of all, I would say. And just like the uninteresting human characters. But, like, basically there's a big point at the beginning, like the first third, where people are just kind of putzing around and looking at clues that you already know the answer to because you saw the name of the movie and you saw the poster. So I don't know what they're dicking around for the first, 30 minutes. And then when they finally go like scorpion, and then it's just like, okay, now we got people getting pulled apart, we got rampaging.
We got giant worms.
Got giant. Yeah, we got the sort of secondary kaiju that are less like show-stoppy, but still very dangerous. Got that giant wood tick. Um,
That worm with the claws? What the hell was that worm with the claws?
God, I've seen things like that, and I don't know if they're real or not, and I hope they aren't. But stuff in caves is creepy, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and that was the other thing is like
Second
much
only
like
to the deep sea.
yeah, much like in a kaiju film, you have a little tag-along kid. Yeah, you got the tag-along kid.
I hate
Was his
that
name
kid.
actually Pepito? Am I misremembering that?
I um I didn't jot it down. I totally forgot, and I hate him. No,
Yeah, let me
Juanito. Juanito.
almost as bad.
I hate him, and he deserved to die in the cave.
And then they think that they've beaten the monster with a perfectly reasonable method, and then the monster turns out not to be dead, and then you got the big fight, and the monster is killed with electricity somehow.
With some
And
outlandish bullshit.
yeah, some outlandish bullshit. And yeah, it's basically like Godzilla movies before Godzilla started going toe to toe with a named villain monster every movie.
Well, yeah, it's definitely dull, but like I said, it doesn't have. It's got a budget. The effects are really actually good for the time.
Oh no, the effects are great. I'm saying that this is a kaiju film. Yes, it's dull.
Mm-hmm.
It has all the flaws of a kaiju film, but on that merit, it has pretty much all the things you want from a kaiju film too.
Yeah.
So it should be in the pantheon of kaiju movies. Not one of the great ones, but it belongs in there.
And this may not be a popular opinion, but I generally don't find kaiju movies to be very good for mystery science purposes.
They have all the things I've gone over with them make them difficult to miss
Mm-hmm.
because you don't. It's hard to pay attention to anything but the giant monsters having the slobber knocker when the giant monsters are about,
Which doesn't
and
give you all that much to hang a joke off of.
which doesn't give you much to hang a joke off of. And then the rest of the movies tend to be kind of slow, ponderous, child-strewn nightmares.
With badly staple gunned on romance.
It's hard to make fun of kaiju in the riff format.
Hmm.
You need to be
Yeah.
outside of the kaiju world to be able to crack the jokes right. Because when the kaiju are there, you don't feel like cracking the jokes.
Because there's only so many ways you can make fun of, hey, look, he's crushing a miniature.
Right. And then when there's room to crack jokes, kaiju aren't around.
Yeah.
I guess that it might be that there's that one Godzilla movie where like they're just hanging out on the island and they can talk for some goddamn reason.
Mm.
There were several
I
where they
am-
dubbed them
Mm.
and like they let Godzilla and the other monsters talk. This was like when they were well jumped the shark for that original run. Oddly, I don't think there was a giant shark kaiju at any point. But yeah,
Well,
there,
not
there
in
were some where
Godzilla. There was vaguely one in Gamera,
yeah,
which we'll
yeah,
get to that one.
Yeah,
But I think
yeah,
also this kind of ties into something, and I was talking to Erica about this. Just kind of a general feel of season one has a very different feel for a handful of reasons, and I think I've kind of started to nail down part of it.
okay.
It's
I'd be
still
interested.
very much in the old. It's a subtle but important distinction. It's still got a lot of the old late night schlock horror movie host in its
Oh yeah,
blood.
yes.
Season
yes.
one generally comes across as more. They're showing a movie, and there's jokes within it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
They've just expanded them out from bumper segments to the whole
Yeah.
thing. But the movie's still supposed to be the star.
Yeah, later on it started becoming where the movie was more the skeleton where you put the joke meat.
Right.
Like the jokes in around season one were much more like frosting on a cake,
Mm-hmm.
where by the time it started by the time you start hitting season 3 and 4, it's like, no, this is the movie's the skeleton. We're putting meat. The jokes are your meat. So you pack it in. You make it dense. You make it rich and deep. Because a lot of the humor is in this series is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Woodchuck suit jokes, which I like. A lot of commentary, a lot more commentary than joke.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more bringing up just kind of the general mundanities of life.
Mm-hmm.
And making that the joke. So it's, like I said, it is a subtle but important distinction, I think, and part of why season 1 has a hard time grabbing people who weren't there for it the first time.
Yeah, I can see that. It what it kind of reminds me of the different with like the season 1 and the season the later seasons. It is kind of like hitting the sequel in a video game series and then trying to go back and play the game that came before it.
Yeah, like playing Mega Man 2 and then you play Mega Man 1.
Right.
Mega
And
Man
there's
1 is a perfectly fine game, but it does really... They clearly didn't have the chops at that point. 2 shows you what they
Right.
learned.
Yeah. A
Also,
lot of
3
little
is
things
better
have
than both of
changed.
them. But at any rate...
Yeah. A lot of little things have changed, and it's easy to notice some of them, but you don't notice every little difference that makes the experience different. And it's much different than if you started with Mega Man 1 and then moved up to Mega Man 2,
Mm-hmm.
following the same metaphor. But there's some interesting stuff about this film.
It
Couple
doesn't actually
interesting
have Ray
things.
Harryhausen, contrary to what Dr. Forrester said.
Yeah, it is not Ray Harryhausen. It is, in fact, what was his
Willis
name?
O'Brien. They did a whole sketch about him.
Willis O'Brien, yes.
Which actually, while we'll get to that, it's like, yeah, that's very much an old late night horror. But go ahead with your Willis O'Brien talk.
Okay, well, Willis O'Brien is not Ray Harryhausen. He is basically the person Harryhausen wanted to be. He did the original King Kong stop motion and so forth, which both explains why the creature motion in this is so good, and also why they were able to get creature motion this good. Because at this point, you're not looking at the up-and-comer star of this art form, which is what Harryhausen is starting to blossom into.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at the person who's kind of towards the end of their career. Maybe a little bit of a cheaper get.
Yeah. Who's probably not going to be as picky.
Right. Yeah. It's like if you look at like the early stuff that Harryhausen's doing, it's stuff like Ymir and so forth. It's creative at the very least. It's not a giant drooly scorpion. And so this definitely seemed like something that was probably a lower prestige gig, but still someone with a lot of talent and experience brought a fantastic creature effects run to it.
I am curious. The big drooly scorpion, the live puppet bits, doesn't seem like something. Doesn't feel like Willis O'Brien.
Yeah, I'm guessing that was probably done by someone else.
It doesn't really blend with the stop motion look of the scorpions. I saw some photos of like apparently people have found and kept the prop stop motion scorpions from this movie.
Oh,
And you
okay.
look at them, and the puppet is very definitely not the same. I mean, between the eyes, the big goofy mouth.
Doesn't have the human eyes and the human mouth.
I'm wondering if that was I'm wondering if that was a different unit.
Probably. There's definitely a kind of a jump from the amateurish to the really cool when you
Mm-hmm.
move between the two shots. The scorpion just move really quick in this. The
Mm-hmm.
way that they're animated, it's very convincing, and like the shots where like the scorpion's pulling apart, some extra like
Mm-hmm.
has it in between their pincers and so forth. That was also very well handled.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff is genuinely like gross and unsettling.
Okay, my water heater's making the weirdest damn noise.
Your water is making noise.
The water heater.
Is it Ice Cube kind of creaking?
It's a sort of whirring sound.
That might be ice. That might be like air trapped in the ice starting to.
Well, I've got all the faucets running, so
Mm.
sorry, I just got distracted because it sounded like something was going to explode in the next room.
Oh, you mean the water as in like a faucet in the next. Oh, because you're on a freeze warning, I guess, right?
Yeah, we're on freeze warning out here. So like all of those are dripping, but I'm saying like my water heater started making this crazy sound, or the pipes or something.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like the water you were drinking.
Oh no.
We're keeping all this in.
Oh, I know. This is.
We don't value your time here at Journey into Mystery.
No, I just want a record of this. That's what's going on here.
So if this is the last thing anybody hears from you, we know what's up.
Yeah. There was a noise.
We are not so proud as to not monetize your untimely water heater based death.
Yeah, I want the CSI people to run the thing through a filter and pick out the sound. I want them to track that to the manufacturer of the IED that's been slipped under my boards by the mice or whatever. I want this on the public record.
And you want a detective to sit there and go, well, I guess you can get too much water.
I just saw the smash cut to the actual police officer listening to you do that part, and someone just in the room just goes, well, "That's ironic." Okay. What movie were we talking about? The Laser Blast.
Black Scorpion.
Okay.
Black Scorpion.
Oh yeah, because we have not Ray Harryhausen, but still quite awesome. Stop motiony stingy stuff.
The actors are generally. I mean, there's not a bad actor. I mean, the police dispatcher is clearly a radio announcer, just because of the way his.
No, it's better.
I love
than that,
the police
man.
dispatcher. He is so stilted and clearly reading from a script.
You know
because
why
that's
you
what
recognize?
he's trained to do.
Do you know why you recognize that radio announcer though?
Do you?
That dispatcher. That dispatcher is Bob Johnson, which sounds made up, but he was the voice on the tape on every episode of Mission Impossible. He was the man on the tape. He was also a whole lot of announcer and computer voices on Star Trek, the original series. In an episode of Here's Lucy, he is also credited as person on tape. Also voice on disc. Wow, he has a freaking typecasting thing going on here.
Okay, link me this. I need to see this.
Oh yeah, like check the top half of his Internet Movie Database entry. It's all like dude on voice on disc, person on tape, ground control.
Damn, yeah, person on tape. TV announcer on My Mother the Car.
Did a whole bunch of voices on The Outer Limits, probably a whole lot of them listed as voice, uncredited.
Yep, there he is, Black Scorpion. Archive footage, yeah, Pioneers of Television, Star Trek Original Series. Yeah, this guy's,
Yeah.
This guy had a career going pretty high, up until, 1990.
Yeah. And yeah, he was the guy that gave the missions on all the old episodes of Mission Impossible before those were inexplicably movies.
And then he was on the other Mission Impossible, the 1990s Mission, late 1980s Mission Impossible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I knew he sounded familiar, but I wasn't.
But yeah, no, and he has the most Mr. Announcer voice of all the Mr. Announcer voices.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's fun to find out. Oh man, so many uncredited roles. I'm just looking at this.
Yeah, yeah. All with a very sort of common thread in the sound of the last name.
Hmm.
Basically, all the people who are very, very plainly uh, Hispanic are. Is that the right word?
With a
Fanny Schiller.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I really do like
basically,
that very simple joke where Servo's reading the names, reading out the Mexican names with a slight, and then
Carlos Mizquiz, Pascal Pena, Fanny Scheller.
yeah, yeah. Basically, the Fanny Schillers they wound up getting credited, but all of the Mateos did not. Um, although oddly, Bob Johnson was not credited.
yeah.
I guess being Mr. Announcer Man voice on the car radio is not considered.
Well, he was also the radio announcer at the end, so
Yeah, it's respect your voice actors, 1950s.
yeah, do better 1950s.
Yeah, that's
Stupid 1950s. What did it ever do for us?
50s. It's provided an interesting backdrop for Back to the Future.
I suppose. Fair. So here's a question. How much do scorpions eat? Do they really eat that much?
Okay. It shocks me that I have to look this up now.
That's why I asked you. You seem like you would know that. Sure seemed like you would know this.
I'm actually a little ashamed that it didn't occur to me to check that.
Because, like, yeah, you've got the scorpions who seem to be willing to fight each other and devour all these giant other bugs, and you
Okay.
assume that they've been there forever.
All right, their estimation of scorpion hunger is, let's say, a bit overblown. Um, Now, the reason we're bringing this up, fine people at home, is this is a plot point in the film.
Yes.
That the scorpions eat 3 times their body weight every, what is it, it's like their body weight every 3 days, or 3 times their body weight every day, or
Is
something
that
like
what
that.
the movie states? I wasn't paying that much attention.
It's some combination of of 3 of something and 1 of the other. But they basically say they have to eat a whole lot or they'll starve to death, and so they'll
And so
die
that's
out real
why
quick.
they lure the final giant scorpion, which, by the way, has helped co-wreck a train, devour hundreds of people off that train, and then killed all the other scorpions in its lust for blood, and
Yeah,
then went on
because
to attack Mexico City, and then chased a truck full of beef that they used to lure it into the death trap, which had more beef.
yeah, the problem the problem with that is that at least if going off the types of scorpions people would keep as pets, because that's what Google had ready accessed information on.
Mm-hmm.
A large scorpion would often eat 2 to 3 adult crickets a week.
Hmm.
Now, large scorpions about 4 inches long in my experience. At
That's
least from
without
what
the
I've seen
tail,
people. Yeah,
or is that with
yeah.
the tail?
It could be. It's like with the tail like sort of flop to the side. They don't like to
Okay.
stretch all the way out, I don't think. But like the ones people keep that are 4 maybe 5 inches long, with or without tails. Cricket's a half inch at most.
Yeah, crickets are rarely that. Yeah, so,
Yeah,
and
I
it
mean
seems
that's
like if you primarily live in deserts, you generally shouldn't. You don't last long if you need to eat your body weight.
you can go a long distance between eating things. Yeah, yeah,
You eat efficient. You eat stuff and you metabolize it efficiently.
right. But
Yeah, that was just kind of running through my head when I was watching that the bizarre chuck wagon sequence.
yeah, this, oh
I
man,
will say something else about watching watching especially season 1. The references are such a time capsule. It doesn't fare well for us, but riffing is one of those is definitely a form of comedy that ages.
yeah. It does make it an interesting sort of slice of life, though. It does give you an idea of what was going on.
Yeah, they're making jokes about Noriega, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Chuck Wagon commercials.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well,
There's not really a lot to talk about this movie, is there? There's no bigger. Well, actually, I do kind of. I saw a bunch of the. I pulled up a bunch of posters,
okay.
and some of these posters really are kind of delightful. Because, oh, dang it, I think I accidentally closed the thingy that had the poster. So let's pull that up again. We're prepared. But, like, the posters are all, like, very schlock, super horror. I'll throw a couple your way, and I will plunk them onto the screen when I finally get around to editing this immediately after.
Okay.
That was a sentence that makes sense.
Yeah, it's fine. Just walk past it.
We'll just pretend I didn't say that after I say this. But
okay.
Yeah, the posters are all that very, oh my god, you're going to die watching this movie. Ah! Certified X, adults only.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
And most of them love that one, like this really, that really shitty painting of the drooly scorpion shot. And for some reason, a Fay Ray looking woman in a dress with one strap pulled down her arm because of course.
Because there's no one like that even remotely in this movie. There's the kind of cute
there's the
girl
love
who was
interest,
like,
and she's
yeah, the love interest type, and she's a fiery Spanish type lady. She's a
no, she's white,
cowgirl.
but no, she's white. She's a white cowgirl.
Ah,
She is totally white. And she owns the ranch, and she talks to her Mexican employees and servants like they're children.
Yeah.
And Joel actually, we've all worked together in this, and Joel makes a crack, usually with me bossing you around.
yeah, there is that. But there is actually something that I did find out, because this was the time that I had to watch the version that didn't have the Mystic and see what they cut out. And they actually cut some stuff. And they cut things at the first and third commercial breaks with the sketches. First and third sketch
Usually
breaks.
where
Sorry.
that kind of thing happens, but yeah. Good
Oh
place to
well,
cut.
there is the first place that there was cutting was in the actual opening of the film. In the disaster montage, they cut, and it was a lot of little cuts where they chopped out just different types of footage that was in that montage. Because the version on the Mystery Science Theater is mostly shots of the volcano and natural and like landslides. And the version that I saw in the film print had a lot of crumbling buildings, falling walls, and things like that just weren't in the Mystery Science Theater version.
So stuff that wasn't particularly relevant.
Right. It was like there was a space before the announcer started talking at the beginning. And what I think happened is they just recut, like the Mystery Science Theater people recut the opening to basically go right to the voiceover, but kind of mixed the footage a little bit to compress it. I'm not sure why, but it's just how it played out. Either that, or there might have been a different print.
Does make it tighter.
Yeah, it's a tighter. And there did seem to be a couple of places where there was like, it would get when I had it synced up, it would get like a half a second off.
Yeah, that I find that happens quite a lot.
Yeah,
like they chop there'd be the briefest of, it'd be a normal cut, but it'd just be just enough, and there'd be like a half second to a second of,
not long enough for them to crack a joke about, but long enough to be wasted time. Yeah. Well, the other thing that got cut out is from the first time that they go to sketch break, uh, they have a chunk of exposition about recent disappearances,
Hmm.
uh, including the disappearance of a young girl rancher. Uh, um,
That would probably
there
be the heroine that we find on the horse earlier or later.
something later or some such, and then some other people that have gone missing. One of the scientists does the whole, well, there must be a logical explanation type thing, a simple local cause, and the legend of the demon bull is brought up.
Yeah, you get references to that. You get bits of that in this cut, but
Yeah, well, they talk about the demon bull legend, and they talk, it's a symbol of evil among many ancient civilizations, and they talk about there's cattle slayings, and it's a little the amount that they cut is a little bit less than the length of the sketch.
hmm.
But the what I was able to piece together because I saw that because I'd watched this movie multiple times in a short time, and I know how scorpions are built, and I saw that extra section from that was not in the Mystery Science Theater. I was finally able to put together that they had kind of a clever plot point that's never well explained in the movie because they don't ever like give you a close up of the plaster imprint of the
Mm-hmm.
footprint. Scorpions have these two clawed hoof feet.
Oh yeah.
So if you had a scorpion that was leaving no one alive and people just came back to find destruction and these gigantic hoof prints all over the place that are a what was called a cloven hoof that's split in two.
Yeah.
You know, and they're just gigantic cloven hooves all over the place. No
Because like
survivors.
spiders got that too, don't they? Well,
Yeah,
some of
yeah,
them at least. They actually have little like two-toed claw dealies on the end of their feet.
it's pretty common in a lot of little critter, creepy crawlies, scutterers,
Hmm.
skittering things. But yeah, the idea that they would come to the conclusion it was some sort of monster bull coming through to smash and destroy everything, is they see all these chaotically arranged hoof prints.
Hmm.
And it was like somebody like the screenwriter had a moment of like just really interesting world building, and then just I guess it just didn't make it onto the page well. But
I mean, that actually would have been a really interesting. Well, okay, I don't go so far as really, but it would have been an interesting plot twist if we didn't know if the name of the movie wasn't Black Scorpion.
right, if this was like the Devil of the Mesa or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah,
That
that would
actually would
bring
have been yeah, that actually would have been a really good twist. Devil of the keep it a secret. And
hmm
you start pointing towards the bull with the claw prints and everything, and yeah. And then all of a sudden, well, nope, giant fucking scorpion.
yeah, yeah. And let's see. And I have my notes about how to talk about how very kaiju like the pacing of the movie is.
Yeah, that's I've got
Kept expecting Jet Jaguar to show up.
Yeah, I
And
boy, the geologists are kind of shoehorned in, aren't they?
yeah,
Their
they're
their level of involvement really is. I mean, yeah, geologist, cave, all right, okay. But their level of involvement sure as hell. Why do they need them in the stadium to kill the bug? Aside from
okay.
the fact that the white guy is the hero who needs to do the actual deed.
I have no idea.
I
But
will
this does
say
bring us
I will say it
to
is
our. Oh,
I will
go
say
ahead.
it is absolutely hilarious that they get the white guy to do the deed by killing off the actual soldier who's using the harpoon in the dumbest way possible.
Remind me how he dies.
The dude shoots the electrified harpoon into the scorpion, but it misses the vulnerable soft spot in the base of the throat. And so the
Okay.
scorpion actually pulls the thing out of it and keeps on its rampage. And the guy's taking, like manually, taking the wire and holding it and pulling it in. And the crew even starts going, "A guy died. No, don't. And as soon as he grabs that metal spear, he falls over. And then White guy's like, "Wait, turn off the electricity." They forgot to turn off the electricity after the scorpion has already pulled out the spear.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So then they load it up, and then White guy gets to make the shot. It is both intensely stupid and really funny.
Yeah. Now, after the section when they cut to this isn't actually Harryhausen. This is
the brief stop motion sketch.
Yeah, the brief stop motion sketch where they're like, "This isn't Harryhausen. This is O'Brien." Sorry, my brain hiccuped on O'Brien there for a second. They had one of those things that fascinates you, which is when the sketch and the movie are the amount taken out of the movie are the exact same length. Because I had it synced before, and I played them both through, and they were synced afterward. Crazy. But basically what winds up happening is in that section, remember how they're like, "We need you to come talk to these people from another government so that they can be prepared in case this happens there."
Yeah.
And then like when we come back, they're just already on the second attack of the giant scorpions. Well, the reason that happens is they arrive. What gets cut out is that they arrive. They go by plane and they arrive in the town, and then once they arrive in the city where they're supposed to be, they get invited into this big war room place, and they're like, "Gentlemen, I'm afraid we lied to you. We didn't need your help with a foreign country. We needed it with this one." And they're like, "Well, we're pretty sure we still killed all the bugs." And it's like, "Here's a photograph of a bug 3 miles away from that 2 days ago." Well, that doesn't prove anything. Again, a photograph of
a bug. I think it proves a whole hell of a lot. It proves there's a giant bug.
What are the giant scorpions? Right here. And so, like, it was this weird, like, fake out for the scientists that serves 0 point. Because they could have just gone on the phone to them, "Hey, we thought we got it. We didn't meet up here. We got to deal with it." Also, like, they're the first ones to encounter the bugs, so now this is their fault?
Yeah.
Or, like, their responsibility? I guess they're doing it because, like, they're the closest thing they have to experts on giant scorpions.
Yeah.
But
but like, well, they have an entomologist among the cast, or among the cast of characters. Why is he not the important? I guess he didn't firsthand witness the way they killed each other, or
yeah, and
did they not tell the entomologist everything?
Oh, they did.
That seems
That's
rather
the other
negligent.
thing. They told them everything. They're like, "Yeah, there's a soft spot on their throat. They stab each other in it."
So this is just, we need you here because you're the heroes.
Right. Your names are in the credits, and this is going to get real weird if you weren't in the last act. So yeah, just to follow in with your, like, why is this random guy the hero? The answer is because the government told him to be. I mean, that's a compelling origin story for Captain America, but it doesn't seem to work for these people because they're much more bland and
they're just rock jockeys.
Uninteresting than Captain America.
They're just rock jockeys who happen to see some big bugs.
Yeah.
And inexplicably didn't throw the little kid to the big bugs when they had the chance. So I think we can be sure that they're not the heroes. They didn't.
And you did not like that kid.
I did not like that kid.
It's yeah. he was definitely like in that Scrappy-Doo kind of place.
Only Scrappy-Doo would occasionally progress the plot.
Okay, I
You
didn't
gotta
want to
give him
bring up
that.
I didn't want to bring up the actual human brat kid from the Scooby-Doo lore, because he was also a racist Mexican stereotype.
We don't talk about...
'Cause-
Just back away slowly, Daphne.
Yeah, because it's
We
like
said we'd
people
never talk
remember
about him.
Scrappy-Doo. They don't remember Flim Flam. They don't remember what I've seen.
So tragic. 25 to life is a long stretch, even for a preteen con artist.
Total digression. They apparently did a special where they got that 13th ghost. So I kind of want to see how they handled Flim Flam in that.
Oh, that would be
They
interesting.
got Maurice LaMarche to do his Vincent Price to play the role.
Well, it's good that they finally solved that problem.
I'm kind of interested to see how that turned out.
It's just kind of
Not
seems...
enough to actually go hunt it down and look, but
Oh yeah, it's one of the many sort of dangling micro goals, types of things that you'll only really do if you run across them.
Yeah. I'm gonna go watch Kipo again rather than that.
We all promised each other that we would never speak of him. Not ever.
Sketch work. Let's talk sketches. Or
Yeah.
unless you got something more to talk about the movie.
I was just gonna say I like the riffing of the movie.
Yeah, it's very mellow, but and they really stick to the... I like the extended golf sequence when they're going up the volcano. Like chopping... Boy, I wish I'd get those horses off the green. Like I said, there's a lot of jokes that are just transplanting the mundane over this freaky shit, and I really do like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which then makes it rather funny when they talk about how the Milling About Festival ends in tragedy as two villagers go to town on each other with giant beefsteaks. What?
The Milling About Festival. That was a great running gag.
And in this weird scene with these two guys with beefsticks, but...
God, the sketch work on this one. Opening sketch is a little baffling.
Yeah. Like I said, it's still... Even the sketches are still very much in the... This is more a presentation than of a movie, so we're just going to kind of keep it light.
Yeah, yeah.
I do like the drink that Crow has made.
Oh yeah, that's
WD-30 and Tang.
yes.
That's something that just in the sketches, the bots are very robot.
Mm-hmm.
They hang an
Yeah.
entire sketch on the fact that Crow and Tom do not understand a lot of things about Joel's biology.
Yeah, he goes every day. He goes into his bunk at the same time, lies down, and just shuts off.
Well, no, it's not a complete shutdown because sometimes they'll say like, "No, Buffy, no, Mr. French, Buffy didn't hide the cat." And then Crow remarks that he once caught Joel having a sex dreams.
Yeah.
And I completely understand why they would eventually move away with it, because, after a few years, the bots are going to pick up stuff.
Right.
But there's a lot of these early sketches where they are really playing with the idea that they are robots, they don't get it. And I do really enjoy those. Also, Gypsy trying to be a black scorpion and trying to eat Tom is just funny.
Why'd you break Gypsy? She was trying to devour me.
She tried to consume me, Joel.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about the sketch where they're all speaking bad Spanish and the weird subtitles are showing up.
Yeah. Questionable.
It's maybe not in the best taste.
Yeah, questionable taste aside, it wasn't really that funny.
I mean, the subtitles, if you stop to read them, were certainly chuckle-worthy. I like the giant scroll of text with
The
Crow's
stop
very short...
mid-sentence.
Yeah. Please stop the inanity. I'm starting to hemorrhage.
Mm-hmm.
The makeup on Josh when the scientists have mutated themselves by accident.
Yeah.
That's some
I mean,
good
it
makeup they put on Josh.
This is a pretty good makeup job. It's just very strange that
Oh, yeah.
that's what they decided to go with.
It's kind of weird because at this point, because it's this and then the episode after this is Women of the Prehistoric Planet, and it seemed like they had more prop money towards the end because they really kind of went a little nuts in places. But like between, Josh's makeup and okay, the giant clay skeleton puppet is
Yeah.
for once, I feel like the letter segment is possibly the strongest the second strongest sketch. The letter segment. One, I just want to make an observation about the first letter. I couldn't help but notice that Joel skipped a sentence in the letter. Because when they bring it up on Still Story and you read it, and the guy is like, "We watch you on the Comedy Channel, and honestly, you're the best part of the channel." Now, this was true. But I can understand deciding not to read that out loud.
Yeah.
In case you piss off your new bosses who have just given you a buttload of money to do this show.
Yeah, because the Comedy Channel was... I mean, I can agree with... Like you, I can agree with the letter writer, because the Comedy Channel was very rough in the early days.
Very, very rough. I think we've talked about it before, so we probably shouldn't go into it again.
Yeah.
I gotta say, maybe we should let's put this on the pile of things we may never do, but we're going to talk about forever. Maybe we should do a video about the early Comedy Channel. It might be hard as hell to find footage.
Yeah,
but
could be tricky. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to see what we can dig up. But then we move on to the second letter, in which a reader offers Crow some advice.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of fantastic.
I can kind of feel for Crow. Like, wait, what? Doesn't seem so much like advice at this point.
Yeah. It seems all too familiar.
Yeah.
It feels like this reeks of a YouTube comment. I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
This is a YouTube comment of a letter, in that it's just this long screed about how Crow is just talking to be heard, and that I wish you and you should be doing better, and it's done in that faux white dude helpfulness kind of tone.
Yeah.
And Crow's like, can we get an extreme close-up on Crow? And you've got, it's early Trace puppeteering, but you can see he's starting to really get the hang of the puppet, because Crow's just got this, the fuck is going on look on his face. And he's just, no, I don't just talk to be heard. There's a reason behind it. And Joel just like kind of tamps him down to shut him up and keep going. And in the background, Tom is just laughing his ass off. This is great. I love this part of the show.
Oh.
I lost it at that point, I gotta say.
Yeah, that was definitely a good one.
It is absolutely the kind of letter that would get deleted if it ever showed up in our YouTube comments.
Yeah, I've seen similar things. Yeah.
I don't know that there's all that much more to say about this one. It's a okay, middle of the road, if slightly dull movie. It's fairly solid riffing for a season 1.
If you like stop motion or giant monster movies, it's a good early entry.
Yeah.
Also, there's a scorpion that drools and squeaks.
Yeah.
And
a lot of weird animal sounds in this one.
Yeah, a lot of weird animal sounds. A lot of squeaking and roaring scorpions. The very human teeth. Nature was not consulted.
No, the wood tick makes this. It's a cross between an owl and an Ewok sound.
I mean, I'm sure that if you made an insect giant, it would make some kind of noise. But I don't think it would be...
Just remember that scorpions, unless genetically mutated, do not growl. I do like there's a turn of phrase Joel uses at some point. I don't even remember the context, but he just says, a giant genetically bloated scorpion.
Yes.
Genetically bloated is just...
Because they're at the football stadium and they're talking about sending the team to, to go take on the giant scorpion.
Oh, there is a great gag where, the scorpion takes down a helicopter. Oh, I can't help but think there was a little contact with the ground on that play. And Crow's like, yeah, let's check the replay. And it's a close-up of the same shot. This is the movie cut. The movie shows you the same shot, but it's slightly closer to try and hide it. Yes, there was definitely contact with the ground. Oh, man, and there's another time capsule joke at the end when they pull out the Cajun chef. Do you remember the Cajun chef?
Just that it was a thing.
I remember the Cajun chef. The Cajun chef, for those who don't know, PBS. Pretty sure it was PBS. He was a TV chef, because that was the rage in the 80s. Early 80s had shitloads of TV chefs. Julia Child, who they also bring out jokes for. But the Cajun chef, a little onion, cayenne pepper, good stock, I guarantee. Hooey!
Isn't that a beautiful red snapper? I guarantee that's a fine one.
Yep. Yeah,
we watched him a lot when I was in daycare just because he was funny as hell. Not that we understood anything, just the hooey!
Yeah, he had a good vocal cadence and made funny noises.
Yeah, that was a lot of what you needed to be a popular TV host in the 80s.
Yeah. I will say that having seen the movie twice in as many days, it is kind of a tiresome one after the first go through.
Yeah.
Much easier when you have the option of just skipping stuff.
Also, when I'm just kind of skimming the notes to see if there's anything I missed, it's something I kind of knew from watching other episodes, but it's really demonstrated here. Joel doesn't know how to play guitar. At all. Because they actually let him strum the guitar during the subtitle sketch. And I say this as somebody with the musical skill of an unbaked croissant. He's bad.
Makes sense, yeah.
This horrendous out of tone.
Yeah.
I don't know that we've got much left, do we?
No, I'm running pretty dry. I think we're pretty well good.
Yep. So I mean, honestly, it's a pretty okay episode.
Yeah.
I'd honestly say it's one of those where the movie itself is just interesting enough. I mean, it's a very dry movie.
Yeah, it's one of the ones where it does help that they're doing like what I consider peak season 1 riffing, and that the movie does give them a lot of stuff to work with and just its ridiculousness. And at least there is some very smoothly stop motion animated giant scorpion action.
They know enough when to shut up and let you pay attention to the movie. At points.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's it. We should probably actually be doing some pitching just in case anybody gets this far. Like social medias, if you want to throw out your social medias.
Yes. We have all the social medias.
Between us, we have most of the social medias. Like, we are both on Twitters.
Yep. I am Trent Troop at Twitter.
And I am MCipher, MSIPHER at Twitter. We has the Isle of Rangoon in case the puppet stuff, in case some of you are just listening for Mystery Science. We do puppet things ourselves.
Yeah, and our own riffing.
Yes. Faith and Begorra.
It's many hours of that.
And that is on this channel you are watching right now.
And this is laid upon this child
This
who
child.
is guilty of
This
its
child who
actions.
should be thrown to the wood ticks. And we do in fact have a Patreon. Patreon.com/I Love Rangoon, I do believe.
Yes, I believe that is correct.
If you want to throw us a buck, and like when we put out scripted videos, you'll get to see those early.
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
thinking we may do a poll for some other. I'm thinking of doing a poll on Patreon for some of the like certain themed episodes of this to tackle.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah.
All right, think we got the thing done?
Yeah, I'm tired of this
Think
now.
we're good? Yep. All right. Thank you for showing up, everybody.
Night. Hey, Pipples! Did you like that bit of nonsense? Well, then why don't you click like and subscribe and press that bell or whatever YouTube wants you to do?
You can also do us a big solid by joining our Patreon, where you'll get to join us for live streams, get early access to the newest videos, and other such things.
Geek Vision.